Listen carefully because something big is building. The Iran war is burning through billions of dollars. AI is starting to destroy white-collar jobs faster than most people expected. Big banks in America are now openly fighting Bitcoin's market structure.
The first issue is the ongoing debate and discussion around the regulation of digital assets. Let me reiterate something right up top. What we don't support is an uneven playing field where new entrants want to offer bank-like products. Trillions in bank deposits are at risk of shifting to stablecoin wallets. We can't let that happen.
And one macro investor just said the money printer could go into overdrive in the next 3 to 6 months. And while most people are frozen, waiting, doing nothing, one man is buying more than $150 million worth of Bitcoin every single day. Something is about to break loose. The question is, are you positioned for what happens next? Hi, my name is Lamia, and in this video I'm going to break down why all of these events matter, why Bitcoin is acting differently this time, and why smart money may already be moving before most people realize what's happening. And make sure you stay with me until the end, because the final piece brings everything together. And once you see it, you will understand why this market could move much faster than people expected. Let's get started. The war between the US, Israel, and Iran was supposed to be quick. Instead, it became expensive, messy, and much more dangerous than expected. The cost is already massive. Billions of dollars are being spent. Oil markets have become extremely volatile. And when oil moves like this, it affects everything. It hits transports, it hits businesses, it hits inflation, and it hits ordinary people at the petrol station. So naturally you would expect Bitcoin to get crushed in this environment. But that's not what happened. Bitcoin actually stayed strong while other major markets struggled. Bitcoin stayed green, and that matters because in the past, when fear hits the market, Bitcoin usually behaves like a risk asset. It usually dropped, but this time it didn't. And that tells us something important. One macro analyst said Bitcoin is now acting like both a risk on and risk off assets at the same time. In simple words, sometimes Bitcoin moves like a tech stock, and sometimes it moves like a safe place to hide money. And during this conflict, there were signs that people in unstable region may have been moving money into Bitcoin. That is exactly what Bitcoin was built for. A way to move value outside the banking system, outside borders, and without asking anyone for permission. But here's where I think the story gets even bigger, because there may be another reason Bitcoin stayed stronger, and it's hiding in plain sight. While the market was worried about war, oil, and recession, Michael Saylor and Strategy were buying huge amount of Bitcoin. In 1 week alone, they bought nearly 18,000 Bitcoin. That is over $1 billion worth. Think about that. While fear was everywhere, they were buying aggressively. And they were not doing it by accident. They were using their capital machine. They were raising money through their products and stock structure and turning that money into Bitcoin. So, while many people were asking, why isn't Bitcoin falling? Maybe the answer is simple. Because there is a giant buyer in the market every single day. And that changes everything. This is what many people do not understand. A lot of old market models may not work the same anymore, because Bitcoin is no longer just reacting to news, fear, interest rates, or stock market moves. It is also reacting to a new structural force, a powerful constant buyer with access to capital, buying more Bitcoin than miners are producing. And that is a major shift. Now, let's talk about the banks. Because while all of this is happening, the traditional banking world is getting nervous. The biggest banking lobby in America recently went on stage and basically warned against giving crypto companies too much freedom. What are they really afraid of? They're afraid of competition. They are afraid of that new financial products built around digital assets could do things bank normally controls. They are afraid that people may no longer need traditional bank in the same way. And while the banking lobby is busy fighting in Washington, trying to protect its power, Saylor is doing something different. He is not waiting for permission. He is building through the market itself. He found a way to create Bitcoin-backed financial products using existing market structures. That means while the banks are fighting a political war, he is winning a capital market war. And many people still haven't fully understood how important that is. Now let's zoom out even more, because there is another huge force building in the background. AI. AI is starting to replace white-collar jobs faster than most people expected. This is not just a future problem anymore. It's already happening. Big firms are quietly cutting jobs, and many people believe AI is part of the reason. Now think about where that could lead. If enough people lose their job, they struggle to pay mortgages, they struggle to pay car loans, they struggle to pay credit cards. That starts to hit the credit system. Then lenders become more careful. Banks pull back. The economy slows down. And when that happens, government usually respond the same way. They print money. That is why some macro investors believe we could be only 3 to 6 months away from another major wave of money printing. And if war costs keep rising and oil stay higher, that pressure could come even faster. Now, here's where many traders make a mistake. They think they need to wait until the money printer is officially turned on before buying Bitcoin. They want a clear signal. They want confirmation, but history does not really support that idea. Bitcoin has rallied hard before, even when money conditions were still tight. Because Bitcoin doesn't only move when more dollars are printed, it also moves when Bitcoin itself became harder to get. And that brings us to one of the most important points in this whole video. Bitcoin is becoming more scarce recently. The 20 millionth Bitcoin was mined. That means 20 million out of 21 million Bitcoin already exists. Almost all of the supply is already out there. And the final million coins will take more than 100 years to be mined. Let that sink in for a moment. So the new supply coming from miners is now very small. At the same time, Strategy already holds a massive amount of Bitcoin, and they keep buying more and more and more. Not a little, aggressively. They are absorbing more Bitcoin than miners are producing. So now think about what that means. New supply is tiny. Long-term holders are selling less. Large companies are buying more. And the money printer has not even started yet. That is why this setup matters so much. Because once supply is this tight, it does not take much for price to move violently. And this is why I believe a lot of people are still underestimating what could happen next. They are still thinking in old cycles. They are still waiting for the perfect moment. They are still looking for permission. But markets do not wait for everyone to feel comfortable. And Bitcoin definitely doesn't. This market feels heavy right now. There is war, there is fear, there is economic pressure. I understand that. There is job uncertainty, and that is exactly why many people hesitate. But that is often how big moves begin. Not when things feel safe, not when everything looks clear, but when the market is confused, when people are scared, and when positioning is still light. So let me bring this all together. We have war pressure. We have rising oil volatility. We have AI threatening jobs. We have a possible recession risk. We have growing pressure for money printing. We have banks fighting to protect their system. And we have a giant corporate buyer absorbing Bitcoin every single day. That is not a normal setup. That is a powerful setup. And when this pressure releases, Bitcoin may not move slowly. Bitcoin may not move slowly. It may explode. Not because of one reason, but because everything could hit at once. Scarcity, corporate demand, money printing, regulatory progress, weakness in the old system, all blending together. So don't just ask, is Bitcoin going up? Ask a deeper question. What happens when the world becomes more unstable, money becomes weaker, jobs become less secure, and there is less Bitcoin available to buy? That's the real question. And in my opinion, that is why this moment matters, because something is building. And by the time it becomes obvious, the biggest move may already be underway. So stay sharp, stay positioned, and pay attention. Because once this market breaks open, it may not give people a second chance. Something big is about to break. Bitcoin is not waiting. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on X and join our Telegram community. And I'll see you in the next one.